The name of the boy studying at this high school is Kuze of Mashas, and he used to merely watch anime and manga all day long until he discovered that the most admired girl in the school had feelings for him. That girl was so well liked that whenever she arrived at school, all the students would halt their activities and begin to gaze at her. One morning, this boy approaches and stands before her, beginning to flaunt his hair, believing that after seeing his dense, curly locks, she would fall for him. However, she does not feel the same way. She promptly turns him down. To preserve his dignity in front of everyone, the boy quickly shifts his approach and starts requesting her phone number. However, Aliyah, diminishing her own esteem, says that she is uninterested in him and remains where she is. The boys lose all hope of winning her affection because the one she just declined was the most renowned boy in their school. Later, Aliyah enters the classroom and finds Kuze resting in the seat next to her after dealing with horse sales. She nudges the seat and inquires if he had spent the entire night watching anime again. He confesses that he stayed up all night watching anime, but also mentions that he had some crucial tasks afterward. Aliyah calls him insane, and Kuze explains that watching anime is a significant matter and that she wouldn't grasp it fully. Afterward, Aliyah gazes at him while yawning and softly utters something in Russian. Kuze asks what she just said, but Aliyah responds that she meant she feels pity for him. The first period was chemistry, which I observe a lot between these two. Then Kuze notices that he has forgotten to bring his chemistry textbook, so he requests Aliyah's help. Kuze tries his hardest to remain awake during the lesson, but as soon as he begins to nod off, Aliyah reprimands him and raises his hand while yelling. The teacher asks Kuze to respond to the question. He signals to Aliyah for assistance, and she directs him to an answer. Kuze confidently provides the same answer to the teacher, but it was entirely incorrect. Following that, the teacher asks Aliyah the same question, and she promptly provides the correct answer. Kuze couldn't endure this betrayal and questions her about why she did this to him. Aliyah claims that she wasn't giving him the answer, but merely pointing to the question. However, Kuze knew she was telling a little lie, especially when she starts laughing in that manner. Suddenly, she says something in Russian again, which Kuze doesn't comprehend. He asks her what she just said. In response, she reveals that she tricked him. However, we learn a secret about Kuze here. In reality, after all this time, he could actually understand all her Russian, and she was indeed calling him cute. The realization that he couldn't grasp what it truly meant shook his entire world. Despite this, he pretends he doesn't understand anything. He learned Russian only because he used to play with a Russian girl in his childhood. However, he never imagined that when he grew up, such a beautiful girl would flirt with him in Russian. She likely doesn't even know that he understands her words. If Kuze were to tell her that he comprehends everything she says, it's possible she'd die of embarrassment. And at the moment, Kuze doesn't even have the money to pay for her wedding. Later, Aliyah catches Kuze using his phone in class and reminds him that it's not permitted to use the phone during class unless it's an emergency. But he ignores her. Aliyah gets irritated and quickly snatches his phone to see what's on it that's making him disregard her. When she notices the white-haired moon goddess on his phone, she gets annoyed and returns the phone, then speaks in Russian. Afterwards, she says, "Even her hair is white," and calls Kuze a cheater. Kuze overhears and becomes anxious. However, when he asks her what she said, she calls him a useless gamer. Kuze instantly loses his concentration and explains to her that he's not a useless gamer because he hasn't even created his channel or started streaming yet. Aliyah turns away, thinking that nothing can be done about it. Later, Kuze is eating lunch in the cafeteria with his friends. That's when Aliyah, the treasurer, the spokesperson, and Maria, the secretary, who is also Aliyah's sibling, arrive at the student council. The guys were chatting among themselves that Aliyah's sister appears to be top-notch, although Maria had turned down everyone's proposals, stating that she is already seeing someone. Kuze remarks that Taika Shu has no chance of dating her because her head resembles a string. Taka Shu responds that even if Ale is his companion, the girls then start searching for a spot to sit. And when Yuki notices that Kuze has turned away after spotting her, she approaches him and inquires if she can join them and eat. The boys immediately consent. Yuki observes that her and Kuze's ramen are alike. However, when she tastes it, she finds it has the flavor of rubber tires and suggests that Kuze address the issue with the student council. He reprimands her and tells her she shouldn't bring up her private matters in the student council, though she sweetly tells him she was just kidding. Witnessing this, Aliyah gets nervous and starts glaring at Yuki as if she had attempted to snatch her slippers from her temple. Jura asks if she is her companion. Yuki explains that she has known Kuze since childhood, as they both attended the same preschool. Kuze asks if they are also companions. Yuki says that she is. She could befriend him, although Aliyah says that she wouldn't enjoy being around her. At that moment, the guys decide to finish their lunch, and Kashi mentions that he can no longer endure the girls, and they depart. Approaches Kuze and inquires if he has considered joining his student council, but Kuze replies that he will sit aside, but he will not participate in the student council Yugi. She informs Aliyah that Kuze used to be their vice president in middle school, so he can effortlessly join them. Aliyah begins speaking in Russian again, saying that she doesn't need to disclose all of this. Later, Yuki bids farewell and departs. And Aliyah remarks that she is astonished to learn that some girl also enjoys being in the same position. Kuze says that you two are my companions, which surprises Aliyah, and she acknowledges this, then leaves afterward. Kuze reminisces about his old days when he used to play with the blonde Russian girl. When he wakes up, he recalls how infatuated he was with her that he learned Russian just to communicate with her. However, now he doesn't even remember her name. The next morning, Kud arrives at school very early and tidies up the entire classroom before everyone else arrives. Ale is the first to enter the class, and seeing Kaje so early, she wonders how he managed to come so early. Kuze observes that there is dirt on her socks and asks if she had fallen into the manure somewhere. She sits down and tells that actually a truck had thrown mud on her on the way. He suddenly changes the topic and asks if he will join from the student period. He refuses, saying that it would be better if he finds a needle in the sand. Al is about to ask him something else, but shy Kumari stops herself. After that, she starts taking off her socks so that Kuze. He gets shy and turns his face away. When Al sees that he is so shy, she gets excited and asks Kuze to bring her spare socks from her locker. Kuze reluctantly agrees when he asks her to. When she asks him to wear them, he gets nervous. She says that it is a kind of gift for him to get the socks. She says in anger that actually she wants Kuze to wear the socks. By this time, Kuze was beginning to wonder whether, when he asks her what she said, she tells him that she called him a coward. Kuze immediately grabs her leg and starts doing as she said. Ala gets nervous. She goes and says she wasn't ready yet, but Kuz tells her to stop moving so I can put it in. However, while putting on the socks, he accidentally touches her in the wrong place, so she immediately kicks him in the face, and she also shows him a little bit of Kuze falls down and his gift was completely recovered. Later, Alia starts ignoring him, so he goes to her to apologize, but she speaks in Russian. She scolds him, and after some time, she says that she is not angry at him and apologizes for kicking him. But when she moves her hand to check whether Kuzi-e is badly hurt, he steps back and thanks her for showing him paradise. Aliyah turns red with embarrassment and slaps him, after which she runs away and Kaz chases her. They run in the corridor for some time, but Aliyah, within a minute, tired and agrees. Kuzi apologizes for troubling her so much and offers her her favorite drink. Aliyah becomes very happy and asks in Russian if she wants to drink it too. Kuzi understands that she is indirectly asking him to kiss her. However, he pretends that he has not understood anything. Like every time, she changes the translation this time too and starts laughing to herself. After a few days, Kuze meets Yugi in the storeroom and both of them start having fun. They were roaming around, then Aliyah comes there from behind. Actually, they needed help to sort the stuff. Kuze helps them, and he takes out some old board games from Shal, seeing which Yuki starts bragging about his past victories. Aliyah asks the two lovebirds to concentrate on work and says in Russian that she also wants Kuze's attention. Kuze is there. He stands there feeling nervous because Ale is yearning so much to talk to him, but still she is not saying anything directly. After that, they go to the student's office. The president comes there and tells his name as Kazaki. He says Kuze looks at him and thinks that there is no doubt that he is the president. However, as he starts to leave, the president stops Kuze because he wants to take him to dinner for helping them. Wanted Kuze tries to refuse, but Yuki says he should go with them since it's unlikely they would have food prepared for him at home. Kazaki wonders how Yuki knows so much about his family. After that, Kazaki invites the boy also for dinner, and she also agrees. In the restaurant, Kazaki praises her for completing the work so quickly. Yuki says that all this was possible because of Kuze, so Kazaki asks if he would like to join the student council, but Kuze once again refuses, because Kaja's convincing recommendation will have a huge impact on him. Yuki also starts to force him to join, so Kuze asks what is the reason behind getting him to join the student council. Why are you hesitating when Yuki is certain to win this election? Then Kazaki responds that it's not true because Aliyah is also running in the election this time. Kuze is astonished to hear this, although Aliyah confirms that the president is correct. While heading home, Kazaki asks Kuze to drop him off at Aliyah's house, and then leaves with Yuki himself. On the way, Aliyah wasn't talking to Kuze much, and when they arrive, unlike usual, doesn't say anything. Kaje returns home and finds Yug already lying in her house. He asks her what she's doing there, but she ignores him and continues with her work. Kaje says, brother. When asked why she talks about being childhood friends at school despite being a sister, Yugi replies that siblings can't be friends, after which she suddenly gets excited and starts talking about that manga. The next morning, Kuze wakes up and finds Yuki sitting on top of him. She begins teasing him, but when Kuze doesn't show any reaction, she calls him dull. Later, they go to the mall, and Yuki starts checking out some clothes while Kuze starts looking at them too. When he sees the price, he's shocked. While they are shopping, Kuze inquires Yugi if she also noticed the white-haired girl standing in the corner, to which Yugi responds that she is way ahead of him because she had already spotted Aliyah. Kuze thinks how to exit that situation smoothly, but Yugi is unfazed. She directly approaches Aliyah. Aliyah attempts to conceal herself and says that she noticed him too some time ago. She claims to have seen him early on, even though he knows she is obviously lying. As Yugi invites Aliyah to join her group for lunch, at which Kuze begins to stop her. Aliyah wonders why it's such a big deal that he has to ask her not to come. Yugi informs her that the place is actually known for spicy food, and if she can't tolerate it, she should clearly state not to join them, and Kuze cautions that it's like consuming a bomb. Aliyah ignores her warning and says that she will go. After some time, they reach there, only seeing her entrance. Aliyah sees her death. Aliyah also thinks of not going there, but when Yugi tells her to think again, she comes inside in her ego. When they reach inside, Yugi tells them how much does Corn City cost. Just like that, to save Aliyah, they order the least spicy dish. The girls also ordered the same, and while they were waiting, Aliyah said that Yugi looks like a boy in those clothes. Yugi tells her that she was sitting with Kuze in the morning. After hearing this, Kuze spits out his drink. So the other girls sitting in the restaurant start staring at her. Aliyah looks at Kuze in such a way that she will drink her own soup. And when Kuze tries to explain to her, it seems that she slipped and fell on her bed. At the end, they get their order, and Aliyah gets up after seeing it. Although now she couldn't move back, so she takes out the noodles and starts eating. In a few seconds, she starts feeling hot. But when Kuze asks her if she can see stars in the day, she says no, she is fine. She starts crying and begs for help in the restaurant. Although when Kuze asks her to help, she refuses. Then Yugi says to put hot chili sauce on her food. Kuze understands that Yugi did all this on purpose, so he tries to save Aliyah. But she refuses and puts the sauce in her dish. When she eats one more after mixing it, she screams so loudly that she has to come out of there. Kuze says that Yugi went to get something, and she is not there. Aliyah says that she doesn't need any reason to get up. Kuze asks if she has a friend who can stand by her side. She says that she doesn't need anyone, but she will stand by her side because of the rules. When she switches to Russian, she says that she wants Kuzi to stand by her side. Kuzi remembers a girl who was crying after losing the election, and that's why she feels bad. Alaya asks if she wants to go somewhere after this. Kuzi says no, he has no work. Yugi will also take some time to come, so Alaya tells him to go shopping with him. Kuzi says that this can get him closer to her. But when he realizes that Alaya has no other friend than him, he starts to feel sorry for him and goes with him. They reach the store, and Alaya thinks that Kuze is being so nice to her. But she gets angry when she thinks that Kuze is thinking that she will lose. She goes to the changing room in anger and starts thinking about running away with her small clothes. When she's about to take off her skirt, she remembers that she has heard from someone that person watching anime can imagine things without seeing. That's why she tells him to go a little further. She changes her clothes and wears a cute outfit to show it, although it suddenly seems like what she will do if she doesn't pay attention to it. When she opens the curtain, Kuzi doesn't stop praising her, and her efforts were clearly visible. Alaya closes the curtain, and she feels like she has a heart attack. So Kuzi was also shocked at the same time. Alaya thinks that Kuzi is so used to complimenting Yugi that he was able to praise her so easily. This time, she tries to dress like Yugi. Kuzi praises her again, and her face turns red with shame. Alaya tried one dress after another so that Kuzi keeps praising her. On the other hand, Kuzi was feeling shy inside. This time, she took a risk and wore some clothes to tease Kuzi. Although when she removed the curtain, Yugi was there too. Kuzi doesn't say anything, and both of them start staring at her. Alaya says in Russian that she wants to disappear from there. Alaya is also shocked on the train when she goes home that then Yugi and Kuze say goodbye to her and leave. On the way back, she starts getting crazy thinking about this dress. Suddenly, she thinks about why they both got off at the same station. After that, Alaya reaches home, and her sister Maria welcomes her and hugs her. As soon as she saw Maria, she thought she was a bit weird, so she asked her what happened. She tells her about Kuzi and his childhood friend. Maria is very happy to hear that a boy could melt her heart like a piece of iron. Maria tries to change the topic, but Maria asks directly if Kuzi likes her. Maria goes against her and says that they are just friends. Maria says that it is impossible that they are just friends, because she hates people like her. All this started in Russia 6 years ago. Alaya's class was sent to a group for a project, in which the winner gets a prize. Alaya was completely ready to do her job. She interviews the entire town, but when she comes back to the class, she finds out that no one is affected by the project. Alaya tries to motivate her group so that they can win, but the lazy boy still didn't get affected. When she sees that Alaya has written an essay for the assignment, she tells her that she is doing something more. Soon there is a fight between them, and Alaya has to complete the project alone. When the result comes, it is known that another group has won the prize, and Alaya is very sad because of losing. When she goes home, she blames herself for trusting others, and she decides not to trust the lazy people after that. After years, she gets transferred to a good Japanese school where she meets her lazy Kuze for the first time. She gives her introduction, and after 3 to 4 periods, she understands that Kuze is so lazy that she feels tired even for 7 days. However, Alia is not surprised that she has seen such people before. When the school festival comes, all the kids are given different tasks. Although Alia does all the work herself, some girls tell her that she doesn't need to take so much tension because it's just a school festival. But Alia wanted to take everything in her. She got hurt many times, but still she didn't stop. Kuzi suddenly realizes that Alaya will not listen to anyone and will do her job till her death. She feels that the rest of the kids will do their job by tomorrow, but then she says that she will stop. Then she shows her permission slip, in which it is written that the handicapped club will help them by stopping in the school. Alaya gets shocked seeing this and thinks that how she arranged it. Kuzi tells her how she did it and says that there is no point in doing all this alone. But Alaya starts to wonder what is wrong with taking the festival seriously. She starts giving speeches after being compromised with the quality and says that there is nothing wrong with working hard, because no one cares about him as much as he does about the festival. Kuze reminds him that the main motive of the festival is to work together, so he should blackmail others and get his work done. However, when he sees that Alaya is going to give him another lesson, he apologizes to him and appreciates his hard work. Alaya agrees to go home in the end, but she thinks, why is Kuze doing this the next day? All the boys are excited to work, which is surprising to Alaya. They have already done their work, and they enjoy doing it, especially Alaya. So when the school festival starts, he gets bored without any difficulty. Alaya sees that Kuze is alone in the after-party, so she joins him. She asks him if he will dance with her. He must have had a lot of boyfriends to dance with. She says that it's not that he doesn't know how to dance. Instead, she was a dancer in her childhood. She just doesn't want to dance with her loved ones. Kuze says that her answer is exactly like a solitary princess. It was the first time she heard someone call her a princess. Alaya gets a little angry because she feels that she is a lot of someone's lover, who has never seen the outside world. She hates this thing when her efforts are ignored, and she is told that she is a princess. Kuze understands what he said and says that he won't call her princess anymore. Surprisingly, Alaya is happy to hear this. She thanks Kuze for putting her brain in his class and apologizes for giving him lectures. Kuze says that it's okay, but still Alaya insists on paying him back and asks what he wants. Kuze thinks for a while and asks what his real nickname is. She says that his family calls him Alaya. Kuze says that he also wants to call him Alaya. She asks what he will get from this, on which he says that he can only call the most beautiful girl of the school by her nickname. Then some boys go there and ask Alaya to dance with them. The boys start arguing about who should get the chance to dance with him first. Not only that, they also start misbehaving with him. Alaya was a little uncomfortable, so Kuze suddenly holds her hand and tells the boys that he is already in love with her. Alaya's heart was almost out of her mouth while doing this to Kuze. She challenges Kuze to see how fast she can match her dance steps, and she happily accepts her challenge. After that, Kuze starts living like lazy again, and Alaya scolds like every time. She tells a lot of stories, but she has completely fallen in love with Kuze. At this time, Maria praises her cute love story, and Alaya says that she is her best friend. But people see Maria's story of being a friend and lover because she has already experienced this with her mysterious lover. The next day, Kuze comes to the student council in place of Yugi. Maria is very happy to meet him and introduces herself, saying that she is Alaya's elder sister, and council secretary Kuze asks if she also needs help shopping. But Maria says that he is Alaya's friend, so she doesn't need to be so formal with him. She holds her hand and says she was very happy to meet him. Although the strange thing was that Maria saw something that seemed familiar to her. Maria asks what her first name is, and when he tells him, he remembers something and freezes for a few seconds. She apologizes for freezing and says she was very happy to meet Alaya's friend. After that, she switches to Russian and says she knows him. Kuzo asks what it meant. She corrects herself in Japanese and says goodbye to the president. Later, they go shopping for office supplies, where Maria gets distracted by a cute dog and suggests that she should take him for every council member. Kuze says that if she does this, then Kenza's life will be spent with those toys, so he drops that idea. But she says that he needs a soft toy for himself when he was going back. Kuze was complaining to Alaya that the poor girl has to suffer every day for her sister's drama. He goes to the next place, and Kuze says, "Give me the toy. I'll catch him." She hits him, names him Alaya, and says that you two look good together. They go to the tea shop where Mari talks to the shop owner, and Kuze stands on the side and thinks that Yugi does all this well because her mother has taught her all that. Remembers how her father told her that she was going to divorce her mother. So when Kuze went with her father, Yugi stayed with her mother. Then Mari suddenly makes her conscious and sees that she looks sad. She hugs her and starts slapping her head, which surprisingly looked very familiar to Kuze. Although she touches her back and spoils the whole romantic moment. Later, Kuze and Maria come back to the student council room, where Kenzaki tells Maria to take the scary doll with her. When he looks at the stuff, he thanks Kuze because if Maria went shopping alone, she would have taken the whole market. On this note, he asks Kuze if he will join the student council. But Kuze refuses every time, but he never had any problem helping him. Maria suggests that he can get her on empty papers, on which Kuze asks why they have gone behind getting her to join the student council. But why couldn't the student council join? He feels like something is happening behind his back that he doesn't know. Kenzaki reminds him that when he was the vice president of the middle school, he used to be the coolest boy in the school, although Kuze says that his goal is not worthy of that position. Kenzaki says that he is nothing special. In fact, he was made president only so that he can trap the girl outside his status. Kuze gets shocked to hear this. Kenzaki shows him a photo of a young boy, and Kuze thinks who he is. Kenzaki tells him that it is a 2-year-old photo of him. Kenzaki was very lazy before he became a politician, but ever since he saw that poor girl, he has changed completely. Here, Kuze finds out that he got Chisaki trapped because of being a president. Kenzaki says that even Maria joined the council because of this. Maria says that yes, this is it, and tells him that as long as you are working in the favor of the students, it doesn't matter why you joined the council. Kenzaki says that he and Yugi used to work together in middle school, and there is no shame in that. This reminds Kuze of his sister's good old days. Kenzaki notices and says that if he wants to make someone else the president, then it's okay. He can join. Kuze promises that he will think about it. That's why Kenzaki and Mari start doing something else. Kuze thinks that he really wants to make someone the president. Kuze asks, "Where is Alia?" On which he tells her that she has gone to solve the fight between the baseball and soccer teams. Actually, both teams had taken permission to practice for the upcoming tournaments on the school grounds. The soccer team has qualified for the regional tournament. So they are coming to see the baseball team play professionally. Every time Chisaki solves all the fights, but this time he is out of personal work. So she sent Alaya, who is having trouble controlling the situation. After this, Kuze went ahead to take the lead. In the meantime, the situation between the soccer team and the baseball team was very hot, and Alaya was watching them. The boy was struggling over whose match was more important. When Alaya tries to come in between, he asks her what she is saying. She says that she should use the playground near the river but does not agree. Although the pair was fighting each other, surprisingly, both the captain and management were very quiet. As the argument between the boys was increasing, Alaya understood that she was not made for all this. The thing he said to himself many years ago, now he will not be able to fulfill because of his actions. No one wanted to listen to him, so he starts crying and asks for help in Russian. Then suddenly Kuze goes there and says that he is in charge of the general appearance of the student council, and he has come to help him. Actually, a few seconds ago, Kuze was passing by, and he heard both teams fighting each other when Alaya was trying to calm him down. He knew that Alaya was unsuccessful in solving his fight, but he wanted to learn from it. He was going from there, then he heard Alaya's help in Russian, after which he could not stop himself. Both team players knew Kuze from middle school, so Kuze offers a compromise. The baseball team will practice on the riverbank because they have few players, but instead the soccer team will have to send some players to help them. Boys also start objecting, and Alaya tries to calm them down. So Kuze starts looking at the management. Suddenly, the manager of the soccer team offers help to the baseball team. So the baseball team changes immediately and agrees to their request. Finally, the fight calms down, and Kuze tells him to give an official request the next day. Later, he goes to the office, and Kuze apologizes to Alia for coming in the middle. Alia says, "It's okay, but you gave him the same proposal, as you know that the manager of the soccer team will definitely offer help to the baseball team." Kuze was surprised that Alia noticed this. He says that he saw that he was watching her all the time. Here, Kuze tells us that the manager of the soccer team is dating the captain of the baseball team, which Alia could not notice. The captain of the baseball team did not say anything from the beginning because he wanted to help his girlfriend, but he could not leave his team alone. Kuze knew that the manager would accept the proposal and the matter would be sorted out. Kuze then looks at Kenzaki, who asks him how everything went on, and Alaya says that Kuze sorted everything out easily when Kenzaki starts praising Kuze. Kuze says that all this was your plan. Kenzaki assumes that it was his plan and asks if he will join the student council. Finally, Kuze agrees to join, and Kenzaki invites him to the office for paperwork. Later, Kuze and Alaya go home together, and Kuze says that Kenzaki played with him. Alaya asks if he is joining the student council just to get elected with the Kuze. Kuze asks if she would have backed out of the election if she had joined the council. Alaya says she will never back out, even if she has to go against him. Kuze knew she would say the same, so he says he will make her the student council president. Alaya gets shocked, and Kuze says if she wants that, she will support her. She moves her hand forward. Alaya holds her hand while wiping her tears, and Kuze says she is a team from now on. Then Alaya says something in Russian that reminds Kuze of his childhood, and he starts smiling. However, he realizes that Alaya has made a mistake. Alaya asks if he was thinking about another girl. Kuze realizes that he has done a great sin by smiling at such a time. She asks if he was thinking about Yugi. He has just promised that he will support her. Kuze refuses, but still Alaya smashes him hard. After that, she moves her hand forward and helps him get up. On the way, Kuze tells Alaya that after getting smacked, her brain has started working faster. Alaya says that she is happy to know that she has a brain. They reach Alaya's building, but Kuze says she is fine. Then Alaya holds her hand and comes close to her and kisses her face. Alaya asks why she was so shocked. On the other hand, Kuze had stopped thinking. Kuze didn't understand that it was a way to say goodbye to foreigners. After that, Alaya leaves and Kuze stays in the same shock. Actually, at that time, Alaya said in Russian that she started loving him, and now she's going crazy thinking all this. Even though she loves him, she still refuses to believe it because she feels that if she confesses to Kuze, then he will start laughing. She hears the sound of the doors closing. When she checks, she sees that Maria is sitting there. She feels that something is bothering her. However, when Alaya asks what happened, Maria takes out her doll and changes the topic. While going inside, she tells me that she met Kuze today. And now she has understood why Alaya fell in love with her. Alaya refuses again, so she advises Maria to confess quickly. Otherwise, it is possible that someone else may steal Kuze. Friends, if you like the explanation, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.